Good morning. How
All
are you?
right. Welcome to the Fantasy Dude, coming live from the living room where we talk the fantasy talk and we walk the fantasy walk in hopes we educate, enlighten, and enhance your NFL experience through fantasy. I'm Dion the Fantasy Dude, and we're going to get into it today. All right. First of all, let's understand what we're talking about. What is fantasy football? Fantasy football is a virtual game where you act as a general manager for an imaginary team of very real NFL players, and their real life statistical output translates into real points for your team. You don't have to be an NFL fan to go and play fantasy football, but it helps. You join a league, usually about 10 to 12 teams. Your league manager will schedule a draft where you and your other league mates will take turns drafting real NFL players that you want. Your roster usually consists of one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, a tight end, a kicker, a defense, and various extra players for your bench. Every week, you choose the players that you want to put into your active starting lineup, and their statistical output results in points for your team. Most leagues will have a head-to-head format where you're playing against another player doing the same thing you're doing, and whichever one of you winds up scoring the highest points for that week wins. Sound simple? All right. Now, I do have a few fantasy football tips, and remember, these are my recommendations. Do whatever works for you, your gut, and your team. All right. First of all, number one, know your league scoring format. Most leagues have standard scoring formats set up for them, but sometimes leagues will be customized. For example, in the league that I'm in, we emphasize yardage bonuses. So you get extra yards or extra points, when your players hit 100 yards, 150 yards, or 200-yard games. This matters because a wide receiver who might get 3 catches for 100 yards will be more valuable than a receiver who might get 8 catches for 50 yards. So, but other leagues may give you points for every catch, or some leagues may give you no bonuses at all. You just need to go and check your league scoring format and know what that is. And there's some other leagues called like Superflex leagues. These are leagues that you can go and start 2 quarterbacks each week, and these are different animals altogether. If you're in one of these leagues, everything I'm saying is not going to be for you. So these tips I'm going to be giving out are going to be for standard leagues. Be prepared. No, I'm sorry. Tip number 2, be prepared for your draft. Practice a couple drafts and everything before you, just to get comfortable with your system. Have a general plan of what you want to go ahead and do, and be prepared to go ahead and adjust during the actual draft. Fantasy players will have preset rankings in the system and all that. These are just suggestions on where the system believes that they should be drafted. You can go with that recommendation, or you can go with your gut. You can draft whoever you want. Real-time drafts can get a little bit funny because people can be wild. And the player you might want might get drafted before you get a chance to get him. Or a player you didn't think you'd be able to get might go ahead and fall to you, and you might get a chance to get him. Or maybe during the draft, you see people all of a sudden all start drafting quarterback after quarterback after quarterback, and you feel pressure to go and change your plans and just go off script and draft a quarterback before you're ready to get one. You might pass on somebody else. Just remember, stay focused, trust yourself, and trust your plan. Tip number 3, don't be a homer. I love the Cincinnati Bengals, surprise, surprise, but I'm not going to go out drafting all Bengals for my team. Actually, maybe I should though. Anyway, I'm drafting the best available players to fill out my roster, whoever that player may be, or whatever team they might be on. Tip number 4, be prepared for injuries. Injuries are going to happen. When you draft, have a backup plan in case they happen to your team. I suggest at least having one backup running back, at least one backup wide receiver for your roster. Now, backup quarterbacks, tight ends, kickers, and defenses, that'll be up to you. Some people go through whole seasons without having any backups at those positions, and I get it. For example, if my quarterback is Josh Allen from Buffalo, I probably am never going to use another quarterback or start another quarterback all season besides him. So why am I going to draft another one? So I could go ahead and take a risk having just one quarterback on my team. But yes, this is a risk. Do whatever works for you. During the season, you will have opportunity to go and pick up any undrafted players that are going to be available on your league waiver wire. Tip number 5, be prepared for the bye weeks. Now, bye weeks are going to happen too, obviously. Now, I do not recommend worrying about the bye weeks while you're doing the process of doing your draft. Don't worry about that. That's too much stress. Just draft the best available players for your team that fills your team needs. During the season, you will have the opportunity to pick up or drop any undrafted players that are on your league's waiver wire. You can risk leaving the position empty when you go ahead and go to play that week. but understand that that's a risk because you won't get any points from that from any empty position. But I've seen some people do it, and they have teams where they don't want to drop anybody from their teams, and they'll take that risk. Hey, more power to them. You do what works for you and your gut and your team. And the very last tip is to relax, have fun. In the end, this is what this is all about. Part of the beauty of fantasy football is it gets you invested in all the NFL teams. You might not even like the Jets. You might not be a New York Jets fan, and they might be catching the beat down 35-13. But you might have the New York Jet running back on your fantasy team, and he might have 80 yards running, a touchdown, 5 catches for 50 more yards, and all of that production helps your fantasy team win the week. So you find yourself tuning into a Jets game just to check out him and see what he's going to do. All right. That was just the down and dirty on the NFL fantasy tips and all that stuff just to get started and all that. Next week, we're going to hit on some more pre-draft tips, some strategy, some trends, and what we're seeing on the NFL landscape before the season kickoff on September the 9th. I hope you all enjoyed this. Hope we get to see you go and step out, get into a fantasy league, ultimately claim those fantasy championships. Stay up, stay strong, and stay blessed.
Let me talk. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on Unfiltered Vision News. And we're looking forward to next week just to, really see and check out what's happening in fantasy football. And I am a part of the league too, just by the way, full disclosure. And it is a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we're looking forward to next week.